love all of our players. Freddie, nice guy.
Look, the crack of that bat. Nothing more beautiful than that.
Baseball is such an important part of our family.
That's the beautiful game of baseball right there. You win some, you truly lose some.
I just want somebody to talk Dodgers to me.
Isn't it insane just how quickly things change?
Yes, we were on the highest of highs last night.
Truly, I thought they were going to sweep.
Today
or win the
we're
World
on
Series. I have no doubt.
The lowest.
And now I'm like, ugh.
Well, we're not on the lowest of lows, but you know.
I know.
We got some, there's some lows. Low is it?
At least we scored 3.
You know what? That actually did make me happy. I was glad that we didn't end up with a goose egg. So that was nice. Muncie got a home run, and then
You know they scored those homers after they found the snake in the dugout? Was it Kobe Bryant visiting?
maybe.
Mamba?
I was gonna say that dude picked it up like it was nothing. I
Who?
would have. I don't know, some guy on the ground staff, I'm sure, or something like that, or a coach. But somebody picked it up and just carried it off, and I'm
With
like,
a towel.
abso-freaking-lutely not. I hate snakes.
They asked Brent
Hate
Honeywell
'em.
about
I don't
it.
care how tiny it was. What did he say?
Oh yeah, I came in and there's a snake, and I thought it was a rally snake because we started a rally after that.
We did, but they didn't complete it. You know, in that same inning, we had where we went from 1 to 3, we had 2 Grand Slam opportunities.
I know. With the perfect person at bat.
I know.
Honeywell looks like a guy who goes into the desert and looks for UFOs. He just has that
He
look.
might.
He just
Well,
has
they-
that look about him.
They did ask him
You
about his
kind of do
turtleneck.
too.
Thank you.
He does.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see you doing that. What
It's
did I
the hair.
ask you the other day? And you said, oh, I asked him what he was going to do when he goes away next week.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you say? You were going to go in the jungle?
Well, the forest.
I was like, Michigan has jungles? I learned something new today.
He's going to Prague.
Oh, wait, duh. You're not going to Michigan. You're going to Prague.
Prague.
And I'm just picturing you in a jungle.
That'd be great.
It's not the Amazon. Oh, Lord. Anywho. But
It's way easier to picture him bowling.
definitely, which is what he is doing tonight, by the way, guys. Side note for everyone, we are recording between games 2 and 3 of the NLCS.
This is Monday night,
Monday night,
October 14th.
14th.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Episode
29,
29, I think.
9? Where are we at? Look,
Oh,
I've lost count at this point. And look, I've lost count. We've ran out of cups in the office that are normal to bring on the podcast. But this actually is
What
one
are
of my
you drinking?
favorite mugs. Just some spearmint tea. And this is my Freaking the Sheets
I
mug,
see that.
which is, if you all can't tell, it's Excel spreadsheets. So don't get dirty. Don't put your minds in the gutter.
And on
I
that
just
note,
love an Excel spreadsheet.
welcome back to Talk Dodgers to Me, episode 29.
baby.
And it was
guess what?
29 plus 4.
33
Shutout
shutout
innings
innings,
we had.
baby. Oh, my God. Beautiful. You know what else happened to some teams previously that had 33 shutout innings
What?
in the
They
postseason?
won?
They won the World Series.
Yes.
That would be the Baltimore Orioles
Oh.
and the Oakland Athletics.
I did see
So I
that.
like that fun stat, and maybe it'll also come true for us.
Well, you know, we left off last time saying, and next time we will have won the NLDS and we'll be back to talk about it. And so we
Yes.
were right and we won. Ha,
Well,
Adam.
okay, I should correct by saying you said we would, and I said I really hope we will.
Well,
But we are. We get to
did.
fight to live another day. Look at
Mhm.
that. We get to fight to live another at least
And we fought.
2 episodes.
We really fought.
God, did we ever? They were, I mean, I don't know about you because you are more positive than I can be at times. But after game 3, I was not feeling so hot about our chances. Really, really, I knew they could do it. It's just like, which team's going to show up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we going to show up as the team that I know can and that has persevered all season long? Or were they not? And oh, baby, did they.
Oh, my gosh.
Game 4, Game 5. Oh, my gosh.
I'm trying to remember if we went.
we really quieted some peoples.
You know what is interesting? What happens really affects the comments we get, because when the Padres beat us in Game 2,
wow, they really had a lot to say.
All the haters. We were getting so many Padres commenting on our videos.
Oh, they were.
And they are mean.
And they're mean and loud.
And then they lose and, they just go away.
I would like to point out, though, not every Padres fan was terrible.
I know.
They're actually, I want to give that disclaimer, because just like not every Dodger fan is the fans that were throwing things.
Mm-hmm.
But then also you've got, not every Padre fan is the one saying mean things in the comments or acting like their team.
Absolutely. And anything we say, we're never generalizing everyone.
No.
You can't say all when you're talking about one person or a group of people.
Yeah.
And we know that.
Yeah.
So, yes, we put out clips of little pieces from our episodes, but if you listen to us as a whole, you know that that's how we feel. Yeah.
And actually, there were some, after we won it all, there was actually some pretty great comments. I think I sent you a post of, and whether it's true or not, but I think it was, unless the reporters are wrong, but of Profar not wanting to give our pitching staff any credit. And I was like, bro, okay, that's
even
just,
Manny and Tatis
that's just
did.
sore losing right there.
Yeah.
Because Manny and Tatis, like, if they're gonna give it, like, dude, Profar, grow up.
But
like,
every team does that. Our team always, when they lose, they always give the other pitchers.
It's like,
even today.
Yes, it's like they pitched a great game.
What's his name?
Sean
Manaea.
Manaea.
Yeah. Manaea was today's pitcher.
Manaea
and he
was
did.
the pitcher
He pitched
today.
really great.
He knew our number. He knew Shohei's number.
He did. And even Dave talked about that today.
Yeah.
About he wasn't getting a good look on
We're
him.
a hard team to strike out. We usually have really good at bats. So seeing them strike out
a bunch.
Mookie, especially.
Shohei,
Freddie, it's hard to watch.
Kike, it definitely happened
So
today.
you have to give the person their flowers when they deserve them.
You do.
And that's what I think most baseball players do, Profar.
Well, and my point to that is on that thing I sent you, Profar, it even had like his reaction, and that's just like, that's not good baseball. I saw some of even the Padre fans being like, dude, you have to give them the credit that they deserve. Like, you got outplayed. You guys did not play well. Like, it was actually nice to see some of the Padre fans give comments about, being like, no, like, they won fair and square. They came back and we got cold. Like, they shut us down. So that was actually nice, because it's like, okay, there's some reasonable.
They also put up a meme of Muncy. And maybe that's what turned the table for them, because they should have learned from last time when they put up the Kershaw meme and then they lost to us like a couple series in a row. And as soon as they put up a meme of Muncy, calling him a different name, I forget. But
don't be a jerk.
They didn't really get a hit after that.
No. Well, and for Tatis to be the last out was quite poetic.
Well, okay, let's go back there for a little bit, because a lot happened since we talked last.
So much.
On the podcast.
It's like it's been a year.
And it seems like, I think our team, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Dave kind of acknowledging Manny throwing the ball into the dugout, how that became the conversation, and kind of moving the conversation towards that instead of the fans throwing stuff on the field and all that nonsense, which we hated when that happened.
Don't condone.
And also all the articles coming out about about the poor sportsmanship from Profar and Tatis, and how, yes, it was terrible that our fans did that, but for them to be egging it on. That's not what you do when you're a professional baseball player. So that
No.
seemed to really turn
You
the
accept that
conversation.
role.
And then also, even though we lost game 2, that was Buehler pitching, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought,
No,
okay.
game 3 was Buehler pitching.
Oh, yeah. So
game 2 was
So we
Flaherty.
lost game 2, yes. And then game 3, Buehler's pitching. I thought he pitched incredibly well, but we had a really bad defense
Our
that
defense
game. And it
failed
seems
him a
like
lot in
that
game.
game, even though we lost, that was the turning point for our team, because after that second inning, when it was like maybe the worst defensive inning I've ever seen from the Dodgers, he went back in the dugout and took a cooler and threw it across the dugout and was like, this is unacceptable.
I'm glad he didn't punch a wall.
I know.
I like throwing
But then
coolers
after
much
that,
better.
he went out there and continued to perform really
Yeah.
well. And the team really fought back.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't give up any more hits after that second inning. And then obviously we got close to coming back, but then
I know, but that was the beginning of us fighting back. And we fought that entire series. And
we did.
it just was really amazing to see our team come together like that. And it just seems like they are more of a cohesive unit than they've ever been before.
Yeah.
Or at least since I've been watching the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to win. They really want it. And they're playing with that grit and they're playing with that heart. And watch Freddie. If you just look at Freddie alone, I feel like the fight and the heart of our team this year is what's going to take us to the World Series.
I love that.
And win. Yes, I'm saying it.
Well, and I was going to say that game 4, 5, and even 1 yesterday, there's not one standout player that's like, this guy carried it. It is a complete team win.
Mm-hmm.
The entire bullpen, the entire pitching staff. I mean, Flaherty yesterday was immaculate. It was beautiful. When is the last time we have had a starting pitcher go 7 innings complete?
I have no idea.
I mean, the fact that our bullpen yesterday only had to handle 2, the guys in the postgame, afterwards were saying what was a 7-game series potentially for our bullpen now became a 6-game series because they didn't really have to exert a lot of energy last night. So it's just really, really cool to see them all rallying around each other and everyone going out there and saying, like, I have to do my best. I have to perform my best. Game 4, lights out by the bullpen.
My
TBD. I mean, today I didn't really love the TBD pitching staff,
No.
but TBD game 4, that pitcher was amazing. And by the way, it was, I mean, those 8 pitchers
All of them
were just, they did not let them remotely get a chance
It was
in that
amazing.
game. We were going to win it and force that game 5.
We quieted that Petco
We
Park.
did. And then you went into game 5 with that momentum. And then Yamamoto getting 5 innings. Like,
He was a new pitcher.
he was every single pitch he was hitting. And it was gorgeous to watch. And I mean, we watched that together at the bar. I'm on edge every single moment of that game because it wasn't a high scoring game. Hernandez brothers coming through, freaking Mr. October Kike himself, and then Teo, Step Brothers, we love them. And, and that one didn't even come till later in the game. So it was a 1-0 game for most of the time.
And that crowd
that's a nail biter.
brought the energy.
They did. And that was a nail biter to watch. And so to have that and have Yamamoto just like be so focused, so zoned in. And Dave talked about it. Like, it's not, they were, the reporters afterwards were asking him, how do you talk about Yamamoto and where did that come from? And like him doing, he's like, he's not just playing for the Dodgers. Like, he's playing for his country.
Yep.
Like, he's been in that.
Well, also that was the first Major League Baseball game with 2 Japanese starting pitchers.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's cool to see where baseball is now.
I know. It's
From where it
really,
began.
I really feel like it's a global sport, even though it's always been America's pastime. It's really fun to see it becoming more of America's, not America's, but a global sport. And Japan's always been huge with baseball. And it's fun to see the sport of baseball. I feel like it's very global. It feels very global.
Even the Padres manager was talking about how he's like, all I've known baseball is hot dogs and Chevrolet, and to see where it is now is pretty amazing.
Now we have sushi at the ballpark.
I know.
And, you know, platters of
home run platters
kebabs and
egg rolls and
dumplings.
Which is delicious, by the way. The home run platter at Dodger Stadium.
She did have that. I don't know if we talked about it when we went to that game.
Did we?
Maybe we did. Yeah, I think maybe we did.
Probably.
Because we talked about how I brought my own food.
But I feel like I've tried a lot of food since then.
I'm proud of you. I feel like you have. You've really taken that for the team for both of us. Which
I love trying new
appreciate.
food. I've tried the home run platter with Miley, which I loved. The chicken katsu sandwich.
You've still not gotten the chicken tinga tacos yet.
I know. I will.
You will when we
Hopefully.
go to a game in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm speaking it into existence too.
Oh, you know what we also said last time that happened?
What?
You said, I want to make it past this round so we can wear these outfits to the game. And what did we do yesterday?
Guys, we wore our outfits to the game yesterday, the ones from last episode. And we just talk about how much people love those outfits. Jacqueline, like 17 snaps for you. I don't know why that number, but
it
like,
was
the amount of people
a
that
conversation
asked me
starter.
about my sweatshirt was so much fun. And then I got
we
to talk
were
about
getting
the podcast.
stopped in the bathroom.
Many times, actually.
Going up and
multiple
down the
bathroom
stairs
stops.
by employees at Dodger Stadium, of
People behind us.
And then it started a conversation that we talked about the podcast. Some people even knew about the podcast. It was just amazing.
Yeah, that part's still wild to me. I will never
Did you
get used to that
Someone
part.
messaged us last night. I screenshotted it. Maybe I should share it because that just made me so happy.
What did they say?
She commented on one of our videos and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I saw you girls at the game and I was admiring your outfits and now I'm seeing you on Instagram. This is crazy."
Aw, that's funny. Dude, it's a small world. It really
I know.
is.
I was like, say hey next time.
Yeah. Next time when we're there, because we have to go back, which we do have to give an incredibly massive shout out to Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Kind Eddie.
We love
for
you,
us
Eddie.
getting to be at that game last night.
It was very last minute and we couldn't have been happier.
It was worth every moment to go to that game. I mean,
That was my first NLCS game. And what a game
I think
to
mine
be
too.
at.
I think mine too.
It was my
I've been in division. I've been to
Actually,
World Series.
I mean, you know how I am. I love to watch the Dodgers win and just score a lot of runs and the other team score nothing. So it was my perfect game.
It was the perfect game for us
Those
to go
are the
to.
games I rewatch highlights of.
And you know what? Today was the perfect game for my buddy Evan, who is a Mets fan, to go to.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys said
So
he was
it
gone.
kind of worked out nicely that it's like, well, I went to my right game and you went to yours. It's all about perspective.
I did feel maybe a little bad that I was kind of rubbing it in the family group chat. with all
Did
my
they
Mets
rub it
fam.
in back to you today, though?
Honestly, no.
Really?
The only thing my Uncle John said was, well, we tied it up. Now we got a series.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And I wanted to be like,
but that's
yeah,
but that's a better sport than you were yesterday. Probably.
Okay, all I said was, he said what?
He
The
talked
sky's
about the
looking
sky
orange?
being orange
And I
and
said,
blue.
it's all Dodger blue tonight.
True. That's not
There
too
was
bad.
like an added level of excitement though because we were there.
True.
And we were having such a good time and the seats were amazing. And the Mets fan behind us was telling me to sit down. Are you kidding? You do not tell someone to sit down in a postseason game. You should get up.
True, although it wasn't going quite their way, but they were lovely. We did end up talking to them
Okay, we made
afterwards.
up and we're friends now.
They were pretty cool. They were some cool Mets fans. They like
We were
LA
actually
local.
around a lot of Mets fans.
we had some to the right of us too.
And there was someone right in front of us wearing a Wilson shirt, and that's Justin's last name. So I felt a little special
Aw.
about that, and I took a picture and sent it to my fam.
I love that. Okay, see that works out nicely though.
I know. That was nice.
But anyway, back to our team. Back to our boys.
So you want to talk about yesterday or
Yeah.
today?
Let's talk about yesterday first. It was,
Okay.
I mean, what was really, because there was only one time, because I remember asking you at the end of it, we almost had, well, we showed up with plenty of time.
Allie, let's go back. Guys, sorry, we're a little all over the place today.
Yeah, today's a brain fog day.
We're trying to bring you our best. Allie's not feeling totally great, right?
I'm hurting just a wee bit. Me and Freddie were both like not on the IL, but like fully medicated.
And
to be functional.
Allie is pulling it together today.
I'm pulling it together for the folks out there because I don't mind going there. I think it's good to bring awareness to things and to ailments that people deal with. We have a lot of female podcast followers.
Allie's actually beeping.
Hence the beeping. I need to.
Do you want to share
myself
with our listeners a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, so I have this not so fun thing called endometriosis, which probably a handful of you ladies out there know exactly what that is and have dealt with it. So currently, if you hear a random beep, it's because I am shocking myself, which sounds crazy, but weirdly, the shocking pain helps to distract from the, what is it called? The like contraction pain that is currently happening. So yeah, I have endometriosis, which is not actually a reproductive disease to some people's misconception. It's a whole body inflammatory disease. It's similar to like an autoimmune condition, but it's an inflammatory disease based in immune dysfunction, which is really complicated way of saying it's just a chronic disease that doctors don't know a whole lot about yet, and puts me in pain, apparently, as I have been told by my mother and many other women, equivalent to labor. So without drugs, you're kind of like laid out and throwing your guts up and not feeling great. So, but for both yesterday and today, because I was not going to not go to that game, y'all. This shows the dedication and love for the Dodgers for both. I refused to not get to go to that game yesterday and like enjoy that experience with you, but also to do this, which is something that I really love getting to be a part of and getting to talk about these games and tell stories from this fan perspective. And so, and just like Freddie, which we need a bobblehead of him, but just like Freddie, who refuses to like not be there for these moments. Like he is like, I am in pain. I can barely walk. He's limping, but he's like, I'm going to be out there for as much as I can and do everything he can. That's why I'm like, God, I just want him to get walks or homers. So the man doesn't have to do a whole lot of running.
He's going to Kurt Gibson his way around the bases.
I'm okay with it. I do that by all means, because he's in such an important bat in the lineup. But all that to say, I resonate with him, but I wasn't going to miss that. And so I was like, I will medicate. So thank you, Tylenol and aspirin, even though you're really not good for the gut, but in, once a month quantities, we will do what we got to do. So,
but just to like understand it a little bit more, because, I get cramps like mostly everyone who has gotten their period since they were, 16. It was very late for me. My younger sister got it before me.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I was late. I was 14. But yeah, same. Like I was.
But anyway, what you experience is like times 100 of that. And
it is.
I've seen you in such pain that I've truly never witnessed anyone when they're getting their period that it's like this.
Yeah.
So I
I
appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
It's important to talk about.
It is. It's one of those things where, what's crazy is it's a disease that looks different for so many different women. Like there are some women, in a way, I kind of I consider myself lucky because at least mine is specifically to my cycle. And so, TMI, but I just really don't care. I think the world needs to know these things. Like it is when I bleed and my body is trying, it's like I'm contracting a baby out, except for it's not, but it's that intensity of pain. And there are other women who they get that kind of pain at other times of the month during ovulation or whenever, and they can have a flare. So it's crazy how it looks so different. And that's why doctors, I think it's one of the reasons doctors don't know a ton about it and they're still trying to learn. Also, women haven't been allowed to be tested on for a very long time. And finally, we're now getting brought into the conversation because we're not little men.
And you've kind of been researching and figuring different things.
I've been trying to figure this out since I was 21 years old is when I was diagnosed because I had surgery for it that didn't make a difference, unfortunately. Which there's 2 different surgeries. I didn't have the one that was the best, and hopefully next year I'll have the one that is better, but it's not a guarantee that it fixes it. But I've dealt with this for over 17 years of my life, every single month. And even with medication, I'm still not out of pain. I'm in what is probably the pain that someone, I mean, actually, I don't know for you, but like for somebody who has, quote unquote, doesn't have pain, or they have like light cramping.
Very light. I feel very lucky.
So I have a friend like that too. She's like, oh, like sometimes I forget about my period. I'm like, I have no idea what that is like. I would not murder, but I would kill for that. It's sort of kind of. I wouldn't kill you, Adam. I'm kidding.
You would involuntary manslaughter for that.
So what it like?
No, but like,
what do you do?
Yeah,
what's your routine of? Because you also like you're not able to eat. You're throwing up. And
last
do you
month,
have kind
I
of
threw up 5 times in one day.
System of what you do?
I do. So it's a weird thing to think, but I kind of have to play each. I play each month by ear, where it's like if I have something like this month, I knew I have a trip coming up for work. Hence, I'll be out next week, guys. But she's going to pull through for all of us. She always does.
I will.
She always does. But I have a work trip coming
TBD.
up.
Melissa
and TBD.
And TBD.
We love it. That is my favorite meme. And I knew I was like, I have to be functional, not pain-free, but functional, which means I have to accept that like, I'm going to have to take a bunch of medicine and shock myself and like, just mentally prepare for like, pull it together, try not to pass out and just like be okay. And I did that. I did that for a friend's wedding back in April. So like when I have to, I am, but if I look at a month and I say, okay, there's nothing going on there. I can move things around. I can switch up my schedule. I can, I'm just going to work from home and do what I have to do, but push things where I can and just like suck it up and kind of die, then I will. Because what I don't want to have to every single month take medication because it wreaks havoc on your gut health, and gut health is, what you need that to be good to even try to make a difference in anything else. And like endo is a full body disease. So it is for a lot of people, there are diet things that have really helped. There are supplements that have helped. There is birth control that's an option. But there's a ton of side effects that come with birth control. And so it's a choice that I've made to not do that. Each woman needs to make their own choice. It's something I've not wanted to do. I've tried about every single other thing under the sun, from acupuncture and everything. And so pelvic floor therapy, which I went to today, but so there's a lot of different things, and it's something I'm still learning about and still trying to figure out. But
maybe if anyone's listening and is experiencing,
if anybody has this
or has any advice,
please talk to us in the comments. I mean, I would love to know if other women who listen to us and follow us, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's a community of people, and we have to rally around each other. And I want to hear other people's experiences and stories, because I know I'm not the only one who goes through this. Barbara Streisand goes through this, which I can now talk about, is a documentary we are working on. And I listened to her book for work purposes. It's about that thick. Wow. So audio podcast, bless you. But I learned she has it, and like really? Olivia Culpo and Lena Dunham. Like there's a lot of women out there who are vocal about it. And it's crazy just how there's so many things we as women go through. Like I went to a meeting last month and I just pretended that I was okay and went to the bathroom 3 times and was like vomiting, and then went back to the table and tried to pretend I was not in like extravagant pain. And thankfully my coworker helped, but like that guy had no idea. And not that men don't go through things, but I'm like, a man would never. They would never have just been like, we're going to suck it up and do it. But I do feel like as women, we have this mentality of like, we just have to push through the pain, which is kind of crazy. But to bring it back to baseball, I'm glad Freddie's at least pushing through the pain. So yesterday I felt him
a lot. Yeah.
So
when he
ran into Mookie and just collapsed onto him. Thank you. He just collapsed on him. Was like, hold me. That
And
was
we
a
saw
really
that
sweet
moment.
I know.
We got to see that in person.
Guys, it was
that is
the
an image
best.
that will be in my memory forever. Just like
Yeah.
Kershaw growling, walking off for his
Yeah.
200th or
2000.
I keep saying no. It was his 200th
No, it was 200th
win.
career win,
Yes.
not his 2000 strike.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Those two images. Oh, so good. And that
I
was just
know.
so sweet. And
It was the best.
it was a great game. We had so much fun yesterday.
Yeah.
We went with Allie's husband.
Guys,
Nick.
that is insane to be able to say.
Well, I realized we also said like you got married, but
Which I
you
did.
got your marriage certificate.
I did. I got legally married.
Yes.
We
So
signed
of
the
course
documents.
you make a day of it.
You make a day of it. We signed the legal documents. Technically, he is my husband, which is wild. So I've been able to say that for like a week, and I'm like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around it. But we are going to Italy for our actual wedding, and then we'll do a honeymoon. So that'll be next year. So I will be out for a few weeks next year for that. But
Well, also,
you know what? We're just gonna put it into fluid, like put it into, the what is the word? Not atmosphere, out into the ether, into the world now. You know, we're gonna be in Japan next year.
oh yeah, it's already in my calendar.
We're gonna be in Japan, and so the season will start great that way, and then I'll go get
Guys,
married.
wouldn't it be perfect? I think I said this to these two a while ago, and they probably think I'm crazy. But hello, Dodger fans plus Dodger hater Cubs fan at the opener against the Cubs. How much more perfect could it be?
It would be incredible.
Don't you want the Talk Dodgers to me crew in Japan for that?
Don't you need our firsthand
You know I'd plan
experience
something
to
fun.
talk to you about as like fans of both of the teams in that
Maybe
moment?
they can help
Oh,
us
God.
make it happen.
Guys, let's do this. Let's make this happen. We need to be in Japan next year
Yes.
for the season opener. Cubs,
Right,
Dodgers, let's go. Even Adam would agree on that.
I'd love to go to Japan.
Can the world even hear you say that so quietly under
What are
your
you
breath?
doing back there? He's really not listening to us today.
No, he's probably watching the Monday Night
Are
Football
you
game.
like playing a game on your phone or something?
I'm doing the crossword.
Oh my god.
This man in the crossword.
Okay, whatever.
Don't
Adam.
even. But
well,
anywho,
I said
back to what
I brought up
just
Nick
saying.
because Nick came with us to the
Nick
game.
came with us to the game.
and we were lucky enough to have tickets to the game, but Nick bought one and he had his own little adventure while we had our great seats. He did come and sit with us towards the end and took some pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he was walking around the stadium.
Guys, he watched the game from like behind us angle, from the bullpen angle. Apparently there's a bar near the bullpen, like our bullpen, as well as the one that you went to the other
the Tommy Lasorda
the other
bar.
game. But there's another one that has massive TVs. So he just kind of did a little wander around the entire stadium and on field level and just like watched the game from multiple different viewpoints. We were texting as it was happening.
Yeah, it was funny.
very fun.
He was in a different place each time.
He was.
But
we got to watch it with Eddie, who you all have not yet met Eddie, but you will meet Eddie. Eddie is a wonderful man who you will meet shortly, who we just adore. And we got to watch the game with his cousins.
I know, and they were great.
They were
love
awesome.
Them.
They were awesome. They're
I
diehard
hope we see
Dodgers
them again.
too. Me too.
It's just, you're never alone in anything you say. So even when you're talking about endometriosis, I guarantee you there's someone that's going to hear that can relate to you and what you're going through. And when we're talking Dodgers and meeting other female baseball fans that love it as much as we do, it's just great.
It's the best.
We love it.
I love they had the same passion and enthusiasm that we did, and right now I literally want to rip out my uterus right now, so that's fun. But
well, you're putting on a brave face right now.
Thanks.
Just like Freddie.
You know,
you could tell he's
if I had
in
to
so
walk,
much
you would
pain.
see my hobbles.
You could really see his.
Y'all,
But the fact
and
that
when he
he's
didn't
doing
get it,
that,
yeah. Well, and when he didn't get what he knew was going to be a hit, just his like, I can't run for that yoga. Like I'm not gonna try. I can't try my
but
hardest.
even that one game that he didn't play, Muncie made a play.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
it was, and Freddie, you could see him in the dugout.
Incredible play.
Thank God I wasn't there because I wouldn't have been able to make that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's powering through and really just what that says to the rest of his team, I think is everything.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I actually, in a way, as much as I would love like a full-blown healthy Freddie, it's a little bit a blessing in disguise. The Miguel injury and even Freddie's, well, I don't know, Freddie's could stay as is, but you know,
I'm wondering
Freddie
what the
could
blessing
be perfect.
is.
The blessing in disguise is that Kike Hernandez was not in the lineup originally. He came in because
I
of
don't get
the
that.
injury to Miguel.
Everyone knows he's great in the postseason.
Well, it's the reason that he's on. It's part of the reason he's on this team, and
I
that
know,
he wanted to
that's-
come back,
They
and that
say
Doc
that's
wants him
why
there.
they signed him because
Mhm.
of how well he performs in
Yeah.
October. So the fact that he wasn't in so many games early in this postseason, I was very surprised.
But like him being in that lineup was the difference in a huge way.
And I love hearing him talk about his mindset going into it. And he said he really started just visualizing himself having success.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's what happened. He made a switch. And that day that he made that switch and really just was visualizing himself having success, believing it was going to happen, that's the day he hit the 3 homers in 2017.
Yeah. And apparently he just loves Halloween. I loved that answer. He's like, what do you want me to, what else am I supposed to say in this moment? Like, I don't know. He plays really well in October.
Sometimes
for
I
the
just
most part.
really don't like the questions that our players are being asked. I really don't, because I think in order for them to keep this kind of mental clearness and confidence and all this stuff, the questions they're being asked make them get out of there. And also, I don't know if we need to know all of it. And it's like, what do you want them to say? Why do you perform so well in October? What do you think he's going to say? What do you want him to say? What are you trying to get?
It's like, dude, I don't know. I'd try to perform well at
and
all
now,
times.
the
probably.
only thing they're being asked is, why is this team doing so well? What's the difference in this team? What's the difference in this team? We've heard that question so many times. What new answer do you want?
Yeah.
They're really gelling together. The adversity off the field is making them closer than ever.
Yeah.
And they're really playing for each other. And that's what we're seeing.
Well,
And
it's
I really
crazy
love
that
it.
we went into the postseason as the best team in baseball, the best record in baseball. And then immediately the tables are turned and you're the underdog. Like Mookie talked about it the other day.
It's crazy.
It's wild how it's hot and it's cold. It's hot and it's cold. And
I
you know, you're living on every moment, in which we do the same as fans. You know,
I
we're
know.
on the highest of highs one day, and then you're on a low the next day, and then you're back up. It's a full-on emotional
Truly, I'm
roller
texting
coaster.
Adam this morning. I'm like, can't wait to record tonight. Yesterday was the best day ever. And then 6 o'clock comes around, and I'm on my way here, and I'm like, ugh, we lost.
He called me, by the way, when what's his name? Vientos, yes. When Vientos hit the grand slam today, he immediately called me on the office line, and I was like, shut up, and hung up on him.
What did you
This
say?
little asshole.
I probably just said, oh boy, oh
You're
boy.
like, oh my gosh, oh boy, oh boy. And I
Well,
was
you know
like,
what happened.
shut
It was
up.
one of those
They
Mookie
walked.
moments where
I know.
they walked Lindor, and the guy took it personal.
Mm-hmm.
Hit
And he
a
already
grand
has
slam.
apparently 3 home runs this postseason. So I don't know. I mean, I get the decision in the moment, but you know, and it's not like we lost by 1 run. So I guess I'm okay. I'm okay with it. You know, we fight to, you know, look, we live to fight another day.
Our team doesn't often walk guys like that, though. Like take the base.
The amount that we did today, I agree.
Well, I guess the amount that our team gets, but I guess not every team has all these superstars.
That's true. Or plate discipline. But you know what I will say, that I at least, if I'm trying to think of the positives, the good takeaways from today, I am grateful to see that they at least did get some offense. Not enough, but they got some offense, because usually on days where, like yesterday, I've said this before, that we get, you know, crazy offense and we score, you know, 9, 10, whatever plus runs.
And then we fall flat.
We
the next
usually have no offense the next day and the bats go cold for some reason. So it was nice to see at least some offense. Muncy got a homer.
barely.
I know. Well, and I am kind of annoyed about the fact that we had a chance for
multiple
Grand Slams.
And the crowd was so into it.
We did get 2 runs on the first Grand Slam opportunity.
I know.
So, like, that was good.
Thank you, Tommy Edman.
Tommy Edman came through, but then came up, and this is where we love Kike, but he was not Mr. October in this one moment.
No, and Will Smith had a couple opportunities as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. And I felt the same. Even when I was thinking about what game to go to, I had a feeling that today's game wasn't going to be the one to go to. But
for many reasons.
Thought because of the momentum we've had, that things would be different. And even to see Shohei in the dugout and how much hype he's giving the team, and I thought we might come through at the end. I would have loved to go to New York with 2 wins instead of 1. But now we're back. It's like,
but here's
back to 0.
Here's the beauty. It's a 7-game series, and there's a lot left to do, a lot left to play. And I think we have to think about the longevity of the next game. Good news. We have Bueller pitching game 3.
I feel good about that.
And as much as game 2 did not go his way, game 3 did not go his way in the division series, he was not the reason I was disappointed in that game. It was our defense really felt him in that game. And then obviously we didn't do enough offensively.
The only good thing about the game.
But I loved that he had fire in him, and he actually pitched well for the most part. And so if he's able to come out there and just continue to grow on that and gain on that last one, and our defense comes through for him and our offense comes through for him, I feel very good about game 3 looking at that. And then, I guess would game 4 be Yamamoto?
Probably. Yeah. So my family's all going to Thursday and Friday's game.
Okay.
I think it's going to be nuts at Citi Field.
Yeah.
Especially with how surprising the end of, the Mets playing at post the All-Star break.
Yeah.
They're having an amazing run, and it's been
do you want to talk to us a little bit about this Grimace? Because I don't know a whole lot about this thing. But
okay, I'm learning about it.
You have so much insight into this thanks to your family.
Well, okay, you guys know that a lot of my family are Mets fans, and actually they're all different fans, but it's fun.
They're all over the board a little bit.
I guess the ones I'm closest with and talk to on a daily basis are my Mets cousins and my aunt and uncle. And, baseball was such a big part of my relationship with my cousin Justin, and he just got such a kick out of me being a Dodgers fan. And the Mets are always frustrating for them. So
I have a friend who would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. But I've been, I keep track of them the whole season, and I really have been cheering them on because I want my family to be happy. But now it's game on, guys.
Yeah, no more mercy.
So they're texting in the group chat about this Grimace, and I'm like, what is this? And I've heard about it, but I didn't really know what it was. So I guess it's like the McDonald's mascot that once they did a sponsorship or something with the Mets.
Wait, it's the McDonald's guy?
It's like this purple.
No.
Yes.
I'm saying there's Ronald McDonald, but then they had a cast of characters back in the day.
And one is
I
Grimace.
clearly know nothing about McDonald's, by the way. Okay, I know nothing.
Can you pull up a picture?
Grimace,
I can't tell you the last time I ate McDonald's. So
Grimace is just a purple blob.
Yeah.
Fun.
His full name, I believe, is Grimace T. Jackson.
But he showed up.
Grimace T. Jackson? Dear Lord.
Don't quote me on that.
He showed up at a game.
Okay.
And since that game, the Mets went on a crazy winning streak. And my family happened to be there that game. And so since then, they kind of think that Grimace is Justin. And if you knew Justin, I wouldn't be surprised. And sometimes we have to believe things to help us through hard times.
Yeah.
And baseball is full of superstition. And I think it is Justin too. And maybe I think that the guy sitting in front of us yesterday with the Wilson #1 shirt on was a little nod of a hello from Justin to me.
Aww.
But it's so funny, our group text, and actually all of the people involved in this, just one of Justin's friends from high school. And just to give you guys a little context, I went to the same high school as my cousins. So when I was a freshman, Justin was a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And he was loud. He was friends with everybody. He ran for president and told his class that he was going to turn the school into a pirate ship and won. So that was Justin.
Did he come through with his promise?
No, but he won.
Guys,
He
just like politicians.
when we were little, him and his brother Josh used to babysit us, and my parents would like go out to dinner and they would throw a party.
Mm-hmm.
And we would think it was so cool because all I did was think my cousins were the coolest and I wanted them to hang out with me.
You're like, please let me come.
Yeah. But Justin just was the biggest Mets fan and just such a light. Every time I would walk in, especially after he got sick.
Yeah.
It really changed him. He had leukemia and had a stroke that paralyzed him on his right side. So his arm was paralyzed. He had to relearn how to walk and talk. And it affected his speech. And it affected him and how he felt about himself. And he actually was in remission from cancer, but got sick. And we don't need to get into all of that. But, you know, I would walk through the door and he would be like, oh my God, you are so beautiful. Oh my gosh. And he would always be like, are you single? You're too skinny and you're single. I don't get it. But just
he's like, here's a sandwich and a boyfriend.
Anyone feel like they were the most special person in the room and just one of those people you feel like you've known forever. I just miss him so much. And
he would love this series.
He would love this podcast. He would love this series. And you know what? If he's Grimace, then that's just great.
You know what?
He's bringing magic to the Mets. That's pretty damn cool.
That is really cool. Look, you know what? We're all going to believe that Justin is Grimace. Although I feel conflicted because I never knew Justin, but he seems like a really wonderful person. And, you know, I love what he is doing for the Mets, but I also want it to end.
I know.
So what do we do with that?
It is hard for me too, but even my family is like...
Yeah, I was like, well, I also am curious, like, what would he...
He wouldn't want me to root for the Mets.
How would he be about this series? Yeah, how would he feel in this moment? Because, like, he'd be rooting for the Mets, but he'd want you to root for the Dodgers.
Yeah. He'd be F the Dodgers. And so, yes, it's great. And I'm happy about that.
We need the luck to run out.
Sorry, Justin, you ain't going to win.
Justin, thank you for your presence up to this point and for getting them where they are now. But it is time for you to leave.
Yep.
And, you know.
Well, now there's
come back later.
There's a purple seat at Citi Field
That's
now.
crazy. Wait, where is it?
Just in the stand somewhere.
Do they pick a new place every time?
I wonder.
Or is it the same seat?
I think it might be the same seat. Also, I guess Grimace is like taking the subway to the games and you could maybe catch him if you go on. And my cousin Michael has been trying to catch him on his way to games. It's crazy.
This is crazy, but that's also really fun.
I know, right?
It's like...
So all of my family will be like, I think maybe 8 of them are all going to Thursday and Friday. And the family group chat is getting heated.
I don't blame them.
But I have no doubt in our Dodgers.
You know what?
The Mets' luck has run out.
We need to just win 3 straight now.
Because, I mean, look at these 2 games.
Yeah.
Yesterday, woof for them.
Yeah, they did not look like themselves.
And yeah, they had great pitching today, but we still fought back.
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
That's where I was like, I was glad we at least
loss.
got something from them. And I think even, you know, and Dave talked about this, like Knack was always going to pitch this game today, because
I thought I saw Brazier was the starter.
Well, he started the first inning, but Knack was always meant to go multiple innings and like carry the bulk of it. Because it's a 7-game series, you got to be mindful of needing guys for the rest of the games.
Yeah, I know.
And so Knack was always the plan. Unfortunately, Alex Vesia is not.
He's out. He's not on the NLCS roster right now.
Yeah, that sucks. But I hope we can get through this series and make it to the World Series and he can be back.
Also sending our best to Alex.
Yeah, Alex, get better, bud.
Friend of the pod.
Yeah. Friend of the pod.
And we waved to Molly and Kayla yesterday.
We saw Molly and Kayla yesterday.
Friend of the pod.
What?
Husband of friend of the pod.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I suppose they're friends too. They're married.
Yeah, you're right.
Husband's friend of the pod. Is that
They
the right
know
way?
what
Husband
I mean.
of friend of the pod.
Ay.
We
Either
were
way.
kind of close to Molly and Kayla, so
We waved
to
at them
as
yesterday.
we were up, and I had to be a little like twice as energized because Allie was in some pain.
I was, but guys, I was cheering and
You
I was
are.
standing up. But weirdly, well, I don't know if it's
I wish I
weird.
brought the rally towel.
Oh yeah, and I have 2 of them.
Yeah,
I was like rallying both. But yelling contracts your abdomen. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but
yeah,
just like when you yell, you're like, oh, your muscles contract.
Wait.
Muscles contracting when they hurt does not feel good. So
is
I
that
was like,
how Alex Vestia got hurt?
by contracting his muscles?
I looked up an intercostal injury because I'm like,
Oh.
what on earth is that?
Maybe I have
intercostal
injuries.
It's your muscles. You're tearing in between your muscles. So like
oh yeah, that feels about
deep
right.
breathing is really hard when you hurt your intercostal.
Oh yeah, it's like ribs.
I don't
right?
even know how to say it. I'm butchering this. Maybe we'll cut it. But
But
I'm just wondering how a pitcher gets an injury like that.
I know. Yeah, like well, I wonder what he did because it happened in warm-ups.
And I love his emotion.
I do too. But like it happened in warm-ups and he got that great out, like God bless, but then he was supposed to come back in.
He's been great. He's been great all season long.
He's been so great. But so Dave was saying like, Alex is out. We don't have Alex and Hudson wasn't an option, which he didn't say there's an injury there, but there was like slight hints that like something ain't right, but that he didn't think it would be an issue and he'd be fine in a couple of days. So crossing all the fingers there. And also Gavin, I don't know if you noticed this, but Gavin came out.
He's
yesterday.
okay though. He's okay.
He is okay, but he has I wrote it down so I wouldn't butcher it. He came out with hip flexor tightness. And that's why he didn't play today.
Oh my
So
Lord.
really hoping also another
He's been
friend of the
great.
friend of the podcast. So wishing all the best to Lux and Gavin. Or that doesn't make sense. To Gavin and Alex, and really hoping that they are both going to be back in no time and A-okay.
They both have been instrumental.
They've been
Lux
so great.
has been great this
Yeah.
postseason.
Man, he hit a bunt yesterday. All the bunts? Can we talk about
He
the
hit a
bunts
homer
really quick?
a couple games ago.
I'm loving this small ball.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was actually
Wait,
one of
did
the
we
things.
even say that we didn't even get a home run yesterday? We had a shutout win with like everyone participating.
Yes. We love small ball, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It
love a
is
home
fun
run.
to
Don't get me
watch.
wrong. But what I love about this team is that we have multiple ways in which we can win. There's not one way in which you can stifle us and therefore, like, great, you've got us in the bag. There are so many different ways that we can beat you. And I love that about this team. It really, that's what makes it feel complete. And even with all the injuries that we have suffered this year, other teams have injuries too, but it's really nice to see us win a game 5 with 2 homers. And then you go into game 1 and we win by all small ball. We got 9 runs without a single home run. All of it was walks and singles and getting guys on base and doubles. Like Muncie had a 3-run double.
Yep.
That's awesome. Like it's so much fun to see that
Mookie
happen.
had a bases clearing double.
Well, no, Mookie hit was it Mookie?
Yeah, Mookie.
Mookie hit the
Muncie
the
started it
3-run
off
triple.
in like the first.
Not the double. Mookie, we're gonna have to fix
Muncie
it.
started it off with a hit.
Muncie started it off, but then the 2 other guys got on base, but Mookie was the one who hit the double, the bases clearing double.
Yeah.
3-run double, which was just so much fun.
And
I love
let's just give Mookie some props because all you haters out there,
Bye-bye.
yeah, he has shut you down. And I'm so happy for him.
No,
you know what I
Love.
wanted to say? It's been fun watching the post-game shows. And
Big Poppy.
I loved the moment with Mookie and David Ortiz talking about, or Mookie talking about how much of an influence Big Papi is in his life. More
his big brother.
More now than even when they were both playing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He says he calls him like every 2 weeks, checks in, see how he's doing. And when Mookie was getting hated on in like every news outlet, he called and publicly gave him a motivational speech, but also called him and talked him through it too. And Mookie said how big an impact that had on him. And that's just so great to hear. Mookie also was talking about Dave Roberts and just how great of a manager he is, but also how great of a person he is.
Yeah.
And I
even
just
better person.
I hope Dave hears it.
I hope
he
so
watches
too.
that. And there was also a really awesome moment with Dave Roberts and David Ortiz kind of messing with A-Rod and Jeter.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Which was so cool.
Because obviously Yankees, Red Sox, in case people don't know, Dave Roberts played for the Red Sox, as did David Ortiz.
Yep.
And
that was just funny
Jeter
to
and
watch
A-Rod
those
Yankees.
four kind of have fun with each other.
Straight legends.
But also in the post-game show yesterday, I was watching, I think it was A-Rod who pointed out how big of an impact Mookie has on our lineup when he's playing and specifically on Shohei.
Yeah.
Shohei is hitting like 260, I think, when Mookie's not in the lineup, and like 320 when Mookie's in the lineup.
God, I love that.
He walks more when Mookie's not in the lineup. He strikes out more when Mookie's not in the lineup. So
they all impact each other.
Everyone's talking about Shohei this year, and for good reason,
for obvious reasons, as you should be.
But
MVP.
Mookie's amazing, and I just love him.
I do too. Well, and like to hear him talk about that and how he knows he didn't play well last season, and he really wants to rewrite that narrative. And
he did.
And he has. He has 1,000% come through. And it's been really, really fun to watch. And I love watching the post game with these guys. And I will say, freaking David Ortiz is hilarious to me. He gets up there, and Muncy, when they had Muncy on the other night, it was so funny. He came up, and Big Papi is like, man, I just want to tell you, you're one of my favorite players. And Muncy's like, Big Papi, you say that to every person who comes up here. And like everybody who comes up there
gives
gets
them that
My
t-shirt.
Dog t-shirt. Yeah. Like, he's such a lovable guy.
What a personality. I met him once at Spago too.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
You've met everybody at Spago.
You got to go there. You never know who you're going to meet.
That's true.
He was so nice, so cool. I actually told him I was a huge baseball fan. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone with as many chains as him. And he was just talking to everyone, and such a bright personality, which is exactly what he is on the shows. Life of
the party. But I love how, they get up there and they're talking about things. And when Dave was talking about it, and he understands you get the highest of highs, you get the lowest of lows when you're managing a team in a big market, in a big city. And one thing I just wanted to point out that I really love, because we always talk about, not we, but like the media always talks about Dave when he makes the wrong decision, or when he makes a decision they don't like, or, you have all that pressure put on you. But he managed the hell out of that game 4 and that game 5. Yesterday, I think, was an easier game to manage because our pitching was, just lights out. But games 4 and games 5, he had to make every right decision with who came in. And yes, those guys also had to be at their best, but there was no leeway to give. And he's an incredible manager. And I also think that with the amount of injuries that we had this year, and with just the madness that this regular season was, he 1,000% I think should win like manager of the year for in season.
I think he only has once.
Disagrees with me.
Oh, they did. Stephen Voigt's going to win it for the AL.
I think he should win it for the NL though, because
with what our team has gone
do
through,
what he did with what our team has gone through, to be the best team in baseball, to get 98 wins with the amount of injuries we had, and literally
and what he's already done in the postseason.
Well, and to have literally to have a pitching staff that was so poorly depleted almost all season long. Most of our guys never even went 7 innings, which is what the norm used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You used to pitch 7 innings and then your relievers came in for the last 2. That did not happen for us this season. And so Dave getting out there and getting 98 wins under those circumstances, yes, I'm biased, but he has my vote, and I think he should win for NL manager.
I do too.
Like,
I love Dave. I love everything about him.
Why do
I think
you disagree
he has
with that,
a
Adam?
really great ability to block out all the noise because being the manager of the Dodgers he's always going to get criticism.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, it's
Comes
a
with the territory.
Exactly. But how he manages his team, what he does to players individually, just give them a little
the
pep talk,
relationships that he
making sure
creates.
to like go up to a player before an at bat just to like give them support and cheer him on. Like that makes such a difference, and that's what you hear from all the players when they talk about him. And so shout out to Mookie, shout out to Freddie, shout out to Dave Roberts.
We
appreciate
creates
you.
relationships with each of those guys, and he knows what each of them need individually. And I think that that's rare out there. Why do you disagree deeply with
Carlos Mendoza should win NL Manager of the Year.
Why?
Because the Mets season was a dumpster fire and he turned the whole thing around. Look at their roster. His roster isn't worth $2 billion like yours is. Anywho,
What? The Mets have the highest payroll this year.
Yankees?
Anywho,
Then they have the second.
I am gonna praise
They have the second. No, it's the Yankees, then the Mets, then the Dodgers.
I'm going to praise Dave Roberts for a second. I thought
Didn't Carlos Mendoza take over
whoa,
halfway through the season?
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. He just said I'm going to praise Dave Roberts for a second.
Okay.
I really like what he said.
What?
I loved what he said. He got interviewed mid-game by Ken Rosenthal today, and he said, we just want to keep it close because if we keep it close, then we can force them to use their high leverage guys. I thought that was really great insight as to what a manager's thinking about. Yes, of course, he wants to win the game, but the goal of that game when it's 6-0 in the 4th inning is we just got to get them to use their guys at the back end of the bullpen. We need to see them because this is a long series. We want them to have to use Ryan Stanek. We want to force them to use Edwin Diaz. Like that is very good thought process of just long-term full series. Yeah. Have to see the guy. The more you see relief pitchers, the more problematic it could be long-term in a 7-game series. And that's why, honestly, it's so impressive what the Dodgers did in the San Diego series because of how much they used their bullpen. The bullpen guys were out there all the time, and yet they shut them down. It was really impressive. I didn't think the Dodgers bullpen had it in them to do what they did to San Diego. I was wrong about San Diego, by the way. Wow. I thought their offense was that good, but the Dodgers bullpen was just so I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant for a second.
I love it. Continue.
We're just gonna sit and listen.
So much of baseball is the difference between a good team and a great team is execution and taking advantage of mistakes. And what you saw, and especially Game 5 against the Padres, the Dodger pitcher staff didn't make a mistake. Like they executed so well on all of their pitches, like all the way through, just perfect execution. And what happened on the other side? Yu Darvish makes 2 mistakes the entire game, and the Dodgers capitalize on those 2 mistakes that he makes. He floats 2 balls both Hernandez's, and they hit it out of the park. That's the difference in the game right there. Is mistakes on 2 pitches. That's all it takes, and that's the difference. Okay, done.
I
also go Mets.
Love this.
Why'd you have to ruin it?
I'm so glad that the Padres lost. I can't stand those guys. I can't stand the Padres.
Oh,
I'm
now
so
he
glad they
admits
lost.
it.
Go Mets.
You're glad they lost?
I can't stand the Padres.
Are you glad the Dodgers won?
No.
He's just glad the Padres lost, but he's not happy the Dodgers won and go Mets is his statement.
Believe.
But
we just heard that whole speech from Adam about the Dodgers.
Prior to that, I loved every second of what you said, and it's the nicest thing I think you've ever said.
It's not about the Dodgers.
It's not.
You just praised
It's about baseball. It's
about
that's
good
what I was
baseball.
But that is what's really good about
but that's
the
what I was going to say is that I love that. Just showed me that like Adam truly loves baseball, because that is what that little rant was. And it was awesome to hear, because he's right. Without those, like, Darvish pitched really well in game 5, minus 2 moments.
Yep.
But
And we made him
we
pay for
capitalized on them. And I too was as just surprised as you that our pitching staff came through that way. They did
I
4
wasn't.
and 5, because of just how it has been this season. That's a lot to put on a bullpen. But by damn, they weren't going to be denied.
No.
And that was so much fun to see. And that's what gives me confidence in the rest of this series, and hopefully getting in the World Series.
But that's how we have to continue to play to
we
win.
do.
And I can tell very early on in a game if our team is on or if our team
Same.
is off. And early on
Same.
today, I know. Actually, after Lindor's homer, and I already had the feeling.
I did too.
because,
I was like, oh,
like
no.
I said before we started recording last season, I listen to Dodger Talk after every game. I actually go for walks in the morning and I drink my coffee and I listen to it, and sometimes walk to the beach. And that's my little morning routine for myself.
Sounds
so
delightful.
often on Sunday or on Monday when I listen, it's not David Vassay, it's Tim Cates.
Yeah.
And he'll be reporting about the Sunday game that they had lost. And he's like, why am I always, it's always me talking about a loss.
Well, and Oral mentioned that. And he was like, am I the problem? That's what Tim felt
and
like he was.
That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like we had a Saturday night game and then it was a Sunday day game. And we usually lose those games.
Well, but
sometimes
we
baseball is predictable,
but we
especially
went to
the Dodgers.
Remember, we went to the Sunday game.
No, I know, but like that's what it felt like for me. A game
today,
like last season.
Yeah.
And I knew very early on that our team really wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
They were a little low energy, but I've seen the fight in them more than I ever have this year. And it was games like what Adam was just talking about and what we've been talking about of game 1 or of this series and game 5 of the last series. When they are determined to win, they win.
Yeah.
And they're not going to stop fighting.
No.
And so that's how we have to continue to play. And the Mets have won with a lot of luck.
Yeah.
And I think we've even seen in these first 2 games their strengths and their weaknesses. And I think we are a more well-rounded team than they are. As good as they are and as magical of moments as they've had, I think we have a better team all around. And I do think we're going to win this series.
We just have to go out there and execute. But I like what Adam said, and I completely agree about Doc with it. And it's partly what I love so much about baseball is there's so much strategy around it. Even a game like today where we lost and we were down 6-0. We kind of flipped from yesterday. We were up 6-0 and they were down 6-0. But I liked that we did get some runs. Like we didn't go out with nothing and, leave it that way. But I like that even in the midst of a game that you're like, yeah, okay, this game is probably a wash, unfortunately. But the strategy of let's see their best. Let's see these guys. Let's see them more times that we can. Let's try to, okay, we're going to leave Knack out there a little longer, extend his, not too much because we do want to still give ourselves a chance to try to come back if possible.
Yep.
But also thinking about there's 5 more games we need to consider here. And so how do I not go through all the bullpen today and wipe them clear and they're exhausted and not have anybody for the next game because we need the next game.
Yep.
And so I love the strategy behind it and how smart he is at thinking that in that moment of, okay, how do I use this to my advantage, even though it looks like we're not going to win this game. And I was like, I love
it's cool
that
to
kind
get
of
in
stuff.
his head and just to get a peek at the relievers, to have a little bit of knowledge about them. I mean, an advantage to us going against you the other day was we had just seen him.
Yeah.
And yes, we've seen him a lot this season, but we had just seen him. So it was very recent. And I'm sure that really helped.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy, which I don't know if I would have put money on, is that both games Yamamoto pitched, we won.
I know.
Which the Padres kind of had his number at first. So then that actually made me
his
so...
first outing?
Yeah.
In South Korea?
That's what made me so happy for him to get that game 5 and to pitch the way that he did and shut them down the way he did.
He was a different pitcher, but I think I heard Andrew
It was
Friedman
beautiful.
say we had all the faith in the world of him because we've seen him perform at the highest level.
Yeah.
In games in Japan.
Yeah.
And so they were not worried at all. Yeah. And it's funny how, everyone was like, oh my gosh, they're putting in Yamamoto for that game. And then he proves everyone wrong. And Dave is the best manager and the tables turn again. So it's just, baseball is just a funny thing, like we've said before.
It is.
Did we give Max a shout out for his homer?
Max, you got a homer today, and it was beautiful to watch.
Finally. He's been trying too hard at the plate. He's really honest about it too. And I just love hearing them talk about their own performances. And, we've talked about how much Bueller has been open about his progress and struggles this year. Max says, sometimes he is a little too excited at the plate. And you can see that.
Yeah. And he's historically not a chaser, too.
And he knows when he hits that homer. And I just love it.
Oh, yeah, he does. I love how much he walks, and when he hits a homer, you know it's a homer.
It's like a walk, a strikeout, or a homer.
I know. He doesn't do a lot of small ball.
He has been lately.
He can.
I'm gonna make sure we talked
He
about
can,
everything.
but he doesn't do tons. One thing I wanted to mention, and, I think it'll be the end of the anything
Kevin
that deals
Kiermaier.
with the Padres.
Did you know he's retiring?
Yeah. This is his last hurrah.
He had a great catch yesterday, and the smile on his face was so sweet.
Into the wall.
He's having the best time. He had the best time in that clubhouse with the champagne showers. He was just pouring beer on everybody. I like him as a player, and he seems like a cool person, and he seems like, wow, I'm so lucky to be on this team, and I love it. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
You're good. I was just gonna say one thing that I really respect and thought was cool is I saw a video of Joe Davis, who is, calling these games. He's one of the commentators, and he's play-by-play, right? Yeah. So Joe's doing play-by-play for these games, and obviously he does all the Dodger games. Like he is hired, he's a staff member of the Dodgers organization. Mm-hmm. But he's calling these games. I love his parody. Like he's not just a Dodger homer. Like he is truly representing broadcasters really well. I feel like in both the last series and this series, there was you heard a call of Tatis hitting a home run, and then you heard the call of Mookie hitting the home run. Same excitement, same intensity. And I thought that was really awesome. I love seeing that. And it's like he also just clearly loves the game of baseball. And even though he's probably partial to the Dodgers because that's who he calls games for every day, pretty much throughout the season, it was fun to see him, it's been fun to listen to him do this series.
Well,
Just more proof that he's AI.
He clearly
more
is
proof
really,
that he's AI.
Really professional. He's really great at his job. And I know he was getting some hate that he was hired to do those games. Yeah. Personally, I would like him to be more excited for the Dodgers in the calls, but I respect his job. And he's really good at it.
I think that it's
But
cool
I want him to be
him
more excited about a Dodger home run than Tatis.
Well, yeah, okay, that's the fan in us, but if you're listening
that's the
to
Dodger
a game,
fan in me
I'm like,
who loves Joe and Oral.
I know. Me too.
So
shout out, buddy.
Joe. It's okay. You're great at your job.
He really is, though. That's
he
legitimate.
is.
So.
I mean, we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
the job was made for him.
Straight AI, baby.
Do you have any other nice things to say, Adam?
Yeah.
We've been fighting a lot lately, and I posted a video of me yelling at you today. So
I saw that. I wasn't here for that.
Have you ever seen me that mad?
Intense moment. I don't know. I think that may have been the height.
Are we on good terms now?
I'm rooting for the Mets.
Your speech really helped.
I'm rooting for the Mets.
Yeah, no, I know you are.
No, I've said all I have to say, I think, about Trying to think back. San Diego series. Yeah, I said everything I had to say there.
I forgot about
Did
the
you
thing.
know that Blake Trinan's wife had a baby in between games 4 and 5, and then he came back and shut
Yes!
out game 5?
Yes! I heard him doing that interview with Ken Rosenthal, and I was like, wait.
He was crying.
Did
It
he
was
just say, I
amazing.
went to my wife who had a baby, and then I came, like,
Yes.
what?
And then he shut out game 5, and we moved on to the NLCS. Oh my gosh. The
He just
joy,
had so much
the
heart.
emotion, the tears. Oh, I just loved it.
He's
I
over
love
here just
Blake
like,
Trinan.
he's like praising Jesus and like in his wife and all this. He seems just so genuine, so happy, so excited. Like I just
felt he was so deserving of that moment for so many reasons.
You know what also I think is really funny about him to me?
What?
I feel like if you threw on some eyeliner on him, he belongs in a rock band. He looks like he belongs in a rock band to me.
How tall is he?
I don't know. He seems tall.
He looks a little scary, but like that scary edge that you need to be a really good baseball player.
Yeah.
And he has been
But yet,
lights
when he talks, he seems so sweet.
I know. And then
I'm
he's like tears
yeah.
falling down talking to Ken Rosenthal.
I know. Oh,
I love everyone on our team.
me too.
Everyone.
Also, pay Teo that money.
Oh, yeah.
Pay that man.
Yeah, he's great. Did I say
Keep
the
him.
thing about Brent Honeywell about why he wears the turtleneck?
No, we were gonna, but then we got distracted because something. But you know, that's this episode for funsies. But what about his?
He's so funny. He's
turtleneck?
like, I love being asked about it. People just always ask about it. And he didn't say anything for a while. And then they're like, so why do you wear the turtleneck? And he said he's an old school baseball player. And they're like, what if it's 100 degrees at Dodger Stadium? And he goes, oh, that's nothing. If it's 100 degrees here, I've been in 100 degrees in much worse places.
Because he goes out to the desert to look for UFOs.
Maybe
So hot or cold, rain or shine, he's going to be in that turtleneck.
But he didn't wear it yesterday.
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yeah.
I thought you literally pointed out when we were at the game that he didn't have a turtleneck on.
I thought he didn't, but he did. He was wearing
Okay.
a jacket over it, so it was a little deceiving.
So you didn't see it. Okay, but he did wear the turtleneck.
because he
had
wears
it on.
his turtleneck, but like cuts the sleeves.
Yeah, that part's always been interesting.
He just has that really old school baseball player look, and that's his vibe. And
know,
he was really good.
just like
he's been really
just
good.
like Mookie wears his glasses. Honeywell likes his turtlenecks, and Bueller likes his yoga pants.
Adam came in saying Mookie looked really cool today in his sunglasses.
Yeah, the ones he wore on the
So,
field.
I need to see what he wore. And Adam, you forgot. You haven't been wearing the sunglasses.
Yeah, I'm slacking. Sorry.
Well, at least he
he'd
can
rather
see.
do crosswords. And
Well,
not
he
pay
can't wear his
attention to us.
sunglasses because he couldn't see his crossword puzzle.
True.
So something's got to give.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a great movie.
Yeah.
Anywho, what else? Do we got anything else? I mean, I really love our team, and I'm excited to see what
Shohei
they're gonna do.
is amazing. He's got some moments in him. I know it.
Yeah,
He's got a home
That's
run
actually
or two at Citi Field.
I was gonna say that's actually something to say is for him getting 54 homers. There hasn't been a ton of homers this postseason thus far from Shohei, just the one. And even yesterday,
It was a good
he
one.
was 2 for 4 yesterday. So like he did some good stuff yesterday. It was very fun to watch. That double was almost a homer that he got, which got some guys home.
Well, I
so
know
like,
that they're really aware. I think the whole team is, and Dave talked about it. They want to keep going through. So Shohei has 5 at bats every game.
well, because the reporters asked him like, have you thought of putting him like back in the lineup or like second or whatever, and putting Mookie back up there because he does. He hits much better with runners on, which is crazy because that's not how he started the.
But Muncy said in that interview that he came to the team and talked about it with them,
told them,
and after their conversation, that switched for him.
Yep.
And he's been great with runners.
He was like,
in
oh
scoring
wait, the
position."
pressure's not all on me
Exactly.
to make that happen. And now he's so much better with runners on bases versus bases being empty. And so when runners are in scoring position, he hits a lot better. And so when they asked him that question, he's like, No, I think I'd rather have Shohei have 5, at bats, 5 chances to get up there and do what Shohei does. So I'm excited to see Shohei come alive a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to project that he's going to come alive in these next 5 or whatever is needed games.
I'll second that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Last week, guys, Allie and I were texting, and I texted her, Will Smith homer right now. And then it happened.
Y'all.
It really did.
It happened literally 30 seconds later. I kid you not. And I was like, wait, did you know that? And I was just on a delay. And I FaceTimed her and we're screaming at each other through the phone in our homes. And she literally just called it. She's done that a handful of times, though.
So yesterday, everyone came up and Allie's like, okay, call this.
I was like, call this.
See,
well, you did that.
I think I just have to do it once in a while.
Well, you did it for game 5, too, by the way.
I
know.
We were
at the bar.
Guys, sometimes I feel it. You
said Will Smith
I
homer.
look at them and I look at their face and sometimes
Hernandez.
I can tell if it is on.
Yeah.
And
you called the Teo Hernandez one.
Yes.
In game 5.
You know what I did today because we were down?
What?
When the bases were loaded and Kike got up?
What?
I lit the candle.
I
thought it might help.
I don't know if I think the juju from the candle has maybe gone out.
It didn't work.
The past 2 times you have lit it have not helped.
That's because I've been, okay. I know I lit it mid-game, but we needed to pull all the stops today. And
That's
unfortunately, the candle didn't work this time.
Yeah.
But I'll just keep my eye on our boys. Lock in with them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll let you know when I feel it coming.
And we're going to the Big Apple, y'all. And
I mean, we're not. I wish we were.
That'd be great. I mean, I am, but it's just
I wish I
to
could
be
go
in
to
November,
a game with
unfortunately.
my cousins. I really do.
That would be fun. That would be quite the experience. You would be very outnumbered. But that would
really
be very fun.
It might be fun for me.
I'll be in New York in November, but unfortunately, this will all be over by then.
Okay, so the next time we talk to you guys.
Oh my gosh. The next time we talk to you and you
we
hear
will
from
be
us,
in the World Series.
The NLCS will be over.
We will have
and the Dodgers are going to the World Series.
How many games do you think we're going to win in? 6.
Ooh. I could see this. I think, 6 or 7.
I think we can win 2 games in New York.
And then come back and
come
win
back
game
and
6. They get 1 game in New York.
Yep. Maybe they'll win.
I say we win
second game.
I say
the Mets will win the second game.
And I was going to say, I think we win game 3.
Yeah, I do too.
Bueller.
I do too. And that's how it's going to happen. And I can't wait to be in the World Series.
Well, we'll come back next week for to see if we guessed right if our projections were
We might have
accurate.
to Zoom while you're away.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Guys, I have to go to work in Oklahoma for a shoot leaving Thursday. And I'm gonna be the only person in Oklahoma City just yelling at
Adam, we know
TV and my phone.
Put your hand down. Trying
to figure out I'm gonna be having my own little conniption. So we might have to
figure something out.
Zoom this and
we'll figure something out.
Because I don't get back till the following Wednesday, so we might have to do a Zoom episode for you guys, and I'll be in a different location.
I'll just be hanging with my boys here.
She's like me and my boys. But anyway, thanks for coming in.
Okay, follow us on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. We actually have had some new followers come in, so we're so happy.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Adam is driving me crazy right now, telling us to stop. But also
he refuses to put in a new card.
Make sure to buy our bags.
Yes, guys.
Our Talk Dodgers to Me
We
bags.
have merch. You need them.
TalkDodgersToMe.com.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye, guys. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
I'm going to throw something at you one day.
When I do this, though, it's actually because the card is literally out.